TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. On my way to go get it as always, man. I hope y'all doing the same. I believe we only like 10 subscribers or less from hitting that 1,600 mark, man. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for making this possible. Now, this is something that I wanted to talk about, man. I had just seen this interview that Bob Arum had did. I think it was with KO Sports, man. So shout out to them for the interview that they put up, man. I appreciate you moving the boxing culture forward. Now, in the interview with Bob Arum, I guess they had stumbled on the topic of Shakur Stevenson, whether his retirement was real or not. And in the process of Bob Arum answering it, he made it clear that Shakur Stevenson was capping. You know what I'm saying? That was totally false. And even went along the lines to say that Shakur Stevenson has some sense of entitlement, and as a result of him feeling like he's entitled to certain fights, you know what I'm saying? That you know what I mean? He's been extremely disappointed with the outcome. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to that, man, I feel like Shakur Stevenson does deserve those big fights at the end of the day, man. He's one of the best fighters in the sport. You feel what I'm saying? And he's looking to be one of the greatest ever. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson is one of them dudes that I genuinely feels like believes in himself, wants to fight the best, has the competitive spirit to feel like he could go up against anybody and hold his own. You know what I mean? And even defeat these guys. You see what I'm saying? So when he says that Shakur Stevenson has this sense of entitlement, I mean, he should. If he feels like he's the best in the world and really is on a mission to, especially if he's like earning his stripes, you know what I mean? He beat guys like Oscar Valdez. He beat guys like Jamel Herring. He is a 3-division world champion. So he's really like stamping his name in the game. So when you're really working your ass off towards the ultimate goal, and your promoter isn't really able to give you the best opportunities, I would feel disappointed as well. That's like if you busting your ass at a job for 8 years or whatever, and a position opens up that you really want, but then somebody comes out of nowhere and just so happens to take it, and you feel like they ain't putting in as much work as you, of course you may feel some type of way. You feel what I'm saying? So I understand Shakur Stevenson in that aspect. However, when we're talking about his whole retirement situation, I told you guys on my channel that was cap. You know what I mean? He was just in his feelings, and he was just expressing his emotions at that time. You know what I mean? It's like that nigga who bring that basketball to the court, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they don't want to play with the young boy, but they want to take his ball to play the game instead. So as a result, the kid gets emotional, takes his ball, and then goes back home. You know what I mean? That's how I look at the whole Shakur Stevenson situation. You feel what I'm saying? He's disappointed that he's not getting these shots, and as a result, he's like, well, oh, man, I'm going to just retire, man. Man, I'm sick of this boxing game. Like, pretty much like rage quitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of the situation. And I told you guys, I'm like, he just in his feelings, you know what I mean? He need to get out his feelings and need to continue working until that opportunity presents itself, just like everybody else does. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't never heard Floyd say that he was going to retire when Shane Mosley ain't want to fight him back in the day, or when Costa Zoo ain't want to fight him, or when Oscar De La Hoya didn't want to fight him when he was coming up. But what did he do? You know what I mean? He continued winning. He kept running it up to the point where the tables had turned, and De La Hoya and guys like Shane Mosley wanted to fight him. You feel what I'm saying? So that's something that Shakur Stevenson needs to understand, and he just needs to stay locked in on his craft. You feel what I'm saying? I also stated that I wouldn't even necessarily believe Shakur Stevenson retiring until he gives up that title. And according to Bob Arum, Shakur Stevenson had gotten a call from Mauricio Suleiman and was like, yo, like, are you really retired? Because if that's the case, we're going to have to take this world title off you. And Shakur Stevenson said, no, like, I'm not really retired and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And that's why he was able to keep his title to this day. So when people were talking about Shakur Stevenson's retirement is real, like I heard Keyshawn Davis just saying it, and people were using that as like a standpoint to prove that Shakur Stevenson's retirement was real. I'm like, bro, Keyshawn is his homie. Like, they like best friends, bro. Like, he gonna back Shakur Stevenson play regardless of what he say. He rocking off of his guy. That's what he's supposed to say. Do you think Keyshawn genuinely believes that, though? Do you think that Shakur Stevenson will not step back into the ring? Like, at the peak of his career, like the highest his career has ever been, You know what I mean? Just came off of a, you know, not the best performance, but just won a WBC world title. Just became a 3-division world champion. And big fights are within his grasp. You see what I'm saying? It might not be there at this very moment, but it's within his grasp within the next year or two with Gervonta Davis. If he goes up to 140 with Devin Haney. All these big fights, Emmanuel Navarrete, Lomachenko, George Kambosos. You see what I'm saying? They're within his reach. You feel what I'm saying? Why would he retire right now? Shakur Stevenson may have a couple dollars, but would you say he's necessarily set for life with how the way inflation looking and how everything's so fucking expensive nowadays? Nah, not at all. So I don't even know why people was believing this shit in the first place, but Bob Arum, you know what I mean? He an older man now. He don't give a fuck, bro. He not about to sit here and lie to you. He gonna say how he feel, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers get to a certain age, they don't hold their tongue no more. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think he was necessarily ripping Shakur or anything like that, but he did expose Shakur as a liar. You feel what I mean? Now, Shakur Stevenson's stock, you know what I mean, in terms of being likable, in terms of being like a fan favorite, it's pretty much been going down the drain since the De Los Santos fight. Well, it really started around when Devin Haney had offered him that 25%. You see what I mean? And when he was when he didn't really accept it, and then he started acting like he was all about business after acting like he would do whatever to make the fight happen, that's when people started looking at him kind of sideways. And then off of that mediocre performance against De Los Santos, now people like, yo, like, what's really going on? Now there's the stigma around Shakur Stevenson that he don't like getting hit. You know what I'm saying? He's scared to get punched and shit of that nature. He's scared of certain styles. He's hesitant against certain styles. And now he's just extremely emotional. You know what I'm saying? Extremely emotional. And that shit is gonna deter some fans from really fucking with Shakur Stevenson. You feel what I'm saying? And now that he's being caught in the lies, it's like, how serious are fans gonna be able to take you now? You gotta understand, when you are a fighter, you have to mean what you say and say what you mean. You feel what I'm saying? Guys who actually stand on their word, they actually deliver to the fans, they're the ones who honestly get the most respect. You feel what I'm saying? When you take on challenges, you're going against the odds. You know what I mean? When you making fights happen by any means necessary, that's what's going to keep the fans around. That's what's going to make these fans pay top dollar to watch you fight. Even if you a guy who lose all your big fights. Like, I've seen, shout out to Gabe Rosado. He from Philadelphia, but because he was willing to take on any challenge and making fights happen by any means necessary, even if he wasn't ever a world champion or anything, he fought the best guys consistently. And as a result, this man got a huge Mexican fan base out in LA. You see what I'm saying? Like, people used to come out and watch Gabe Rosado rumble. I'm not comparing Shakur and Gabe Rosado. Obviously, they two totally different caliber fighters. But what I'm trying to say is, when you stand on your word, you know what I'm saying, and you put the fans first, and you put your emotions to the side, you kill your ego and all that shit, yo, fans will notice that shit and they'll genuinely respect it. You feel what I mean? And that's just my whole take on the situation, man. Bob Arum just exposed Shakur Stevenson's fake retirement. You see what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole shit here, man. If y'all listen to the channel, y'all would already know I had called that shit out. As soon as I seen that he was still holding on to that WBC belt, I knew it was cap. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation nonetheless. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, of course. I'm out of here, man. Peace.